Kindergarten homeschool curriculum. Let's chat about that today. So I thought that I had my kindergarten curriculum all planned out and knew exactly what I was going to do. And last week I changed my mind. Welcome back to my channel for another video. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Sarah, and next year I am going to be homeschooling a kindergartner. This is going to be my second time homeschooling a kindergartner. We actually began homeschooling when my oldest son was in kindergarten, and that son is now going to be in 7th grade next year. I also have twin daughters who are going to be in 6th grade, and that is kind of the wide range of kids that I am homeschooling, from kindergarten to 7th grade. That being said, the reason I thought I knew what I was going to do was because I was going to simply just use the same kindergarten curriculum that I used the first time around. And spoiler alert, I am going to be using that same curriculum. However, not exactly in the way that I intended to use it. Because when I used this curriculum the first time around, I only had my oldest son that I was homeschooling. My daughters were 3 years old at the time, and they kind of hung out with us, played with us, did some of the simple activities with us. But for the most part, I had a lot of time to spend with my son. We weren't involved in a co-op. We didn't have a lot of extra sports or activities besides BSF and Awana that took up our time. So I had a lot of time in our home just to focus on him, which was great because, again, that was our first year of homeschooling and I had a lot that I needed to figure out. What I realized that I wasn't thinking about now, though, was that life looks 100% different now as we're going through kindergarten again. I'm not just homeschooling a kindergartner, I'm homeschooling a kindergartner, 2 6th graders, and a 7th grader. So last week, as I was sitting down and kind of organizing everything, gathering my thoughts, figuring out how I was going to fit everything into our daily routine, I realized that I could use the same curriculum, but I was gonna have to use it in a different way. I couldn't use it the same exact way I did with my kindergartner in the past. And I really did want to use this curriculum because I had great memories of it. I loved using it before. So I wanted to figure out how I could make this work and what this would look like. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably know that I've mentioned using my Father's World kindergarten curriculum with my oldest son. This is a curriculum that I mention to all moms who ask me, if they're starting out, they're homeschooling a kindergartner, they're wondering, how do I start homeschooling? What should I use? This is what I recommend to them, this right here. This is God's Creation from A to Z, the kindergarten curriculum from my Father's World. This was such a blessing to us in our first year homeschooling, and I love so many things about it. Not just this kindergarten curriculum specifically, but my Father's World in general. I love the detailed open and go lesson plans. I love the literature, the living book focus, the focus on character development, their family style learning, and their focus on keeping God's word at the center of what we are learning, and so much more. So I am planning on doing a flip through of this curriculum so I can show you more in depth what it's like and some of the things that we did with it. But for now, let me just give you a brief overview. This curriculum covers all subjects, which was a big appeal to me in the beginning when I had no clue what I was doing or thought I had no clue what I was doing, because at least I knew I was gonna have everything covered. So this curriculum is going to include everything: your math, your reading, language arts, art, science, and there's a music component. I think that's it. But there are 26 different hands-on, easy to teach units. So you go through every letter of the alphabet and you go through a different science topic each week. And then you also have related Bible concepts and character training that you're going through with this. So it's very easy to follow, typical My Father's World. For example, this is what your schedule kind of looks like. So it's broken up into days, and then you have your reading, language arts, and math portion. You have your different activities here, which is going to cover a lot of your science concepts. So like this week was penguin And then they have their character concept right here. I show love to everyone, especially my family. So you've got your activities. There's some Bible, some music in here, art, and then you have a read aloud portion as well. And then outside time, that's pretty open. But this is kind of what a typical schedule, a typical day would look like using this curriculum. And that's a very general overview, big picture overview. So now that you know what this covers, let me talk about what I'm going to be changing and doing next year. So as I was organizing my older kids' materials last week, I was looking at my girls' science curriculum and realized that the curriculum was differentiated and could be used for older and younger students. And I realized that the curriculum I have for my girls actually can be used for kids kindergarten through 6th grade. My girls are going to be 6th grade next year. And I like the curriculum that I'm going to be using for them. So this is the science curriculum that I'm going to be using for my 6th grade girls. It is from Brian Builders. It is Science in the Beginning. And so my wheels started to kind of turn a little bit as I was trying to piece all of this together. My son loves hanging out with his big sisters, loves to be a part of the big kid stuff when he can. And I started thinking that maybe I could have him, my kindergartner, do science with my daughters next year. So this curriculum, Science in the Beginning, introduces science topics using history as its guide and has its lessons built around activities and experiments, which my son really loves. And there are different levels of review for each lesson, so it's very easy to differentiate. So this is going to be pretty different for us. I'm actually kind of curious to see how it's going to go. But the science portion of My Father's World Kindergarten is a big chunk of their kindergarten curriculum. So like I said, each week you focus on a letter and a science topic that begins with that letter. So like I mentioned, for P, you would be learning about the penguin that week, and you would be focusing on that letter and that topic. Most of your activities are going to center around that topic, and you have to pull books from the library to kind of supplement learning about that and find any extra resources that you want to use. So not only is that a big part of the curriculum, but it takes up a good chunk of time for me planning wise, just to gather some of those extra pieces that we're going to need. And again, that's not a huge deal if my kindergartner was the only one that I was homeschooling, or one of two or something. But by combining science for him with my daughters, it is actually going to save a lot of time for me, in not having to teach two separate lessons each day, and also saves time in that extra prep work for prepping for two different curriculums. It's brilliant, I know. But seriously, will this be a terrible idea, or will it work out? My kindergartner with my 6th graders? Time will tell, and I will let you guys know. And part of me is a little bit sad because I really did have fun using this curriculum. My older son and I have some great memories with the different activities that we did and the things that we learned, but maybe that's a good thing. I have those memories that I can hang on to with him, and that's kind of our thing. And moving forward, I'll get to create some new memories and different memories with my youngest. And also, I think there is just so much value, so much beauty in our kids of different ages getting to learn together. Not only will this help my kindergartner and will he benefit from it, but I think my girls will really love helping their younger brother throughout the year and getting to spend some time learning with him. So what else am I going to use for my kindergartner? Well, I briefly considered picking out a different curriculum for reading and one for math, but then I realized that really I can still use My Father's World for those, since I already have the materials. I already have, there are different student sheets that come with this curriculum. I had an extra set of those, and I have all the materials from when I did this before. So figured, why throw any money into different curriculums when I have something that works perfectly fine here, or that I think is going to work perfectly fine. So I'm going to use this curriculum for reading / language arts and math. And that is, if I flip back to this page, this is the top block right here. So the reading / language arts and math. So there is calendar work here, there's handwriting practice, poems, phonics-based lessons, and then typical kindergarten math lessons. Those are all included. And the plan is to simply use this until we have problems with it or it isn't working for us. And as far as the activities portion here, I'm going to take these on a week-to-week basis. I do love the character building activities and some of the things that we did before, so we will probably work those into our days somehow. There are Bible lessons here, but we are still going to be attending BSF and Awana, and I do plan on having my kindergartner sit in on the Bible lessons that I'm going to be doing with my older kids through their curriculum, which is My Father's World, Creation to the Greeks. But the science-related activities we are going to skip since we'll be using the other science curriculum. And for art, I will probably have him tag along with my older kids as well and just do some simpler versions of some of the art projects they're going to be doing with their curriculum. And then this bottom row, like I said, is the read aloud section. I will do this as well, as there are some great books that are included with this curriculum, and I will probably end up reading those to all of my kids, maybe during our morning time or something like that. So I do plan on doing the read aloud section of this curriculum. So that's it. That's what I'm going to be doing with my kindergartner next year. Reading, language arts, and math, a little bit of character training that we'll be using with the My Father's World curriculum. Science will be done using Brian Builder's Science in the Beginning. We've got Bible taken care of, both separately and integrated into these curriculum choices. And my kindergartner will also be tagging along when he can for some of the things that my older kids are doing. I think that for this age, reading and math are especially important to start focusing on. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on how he is doing with those with this curriculum. And, I hope it works well, but you never know. If we need to, we can try a different reading curriculum or a different math curriculum, either supplement or add something in new altogether. So that's the beauty of homeschooling, being able to make those changes and make those adjustments as we go. I hope that if you are homeschooling a kindergartner next year, or if you're homeschooling a kindergartner along with older kids, this kind of gave you an idea of what you can do, how you can make that work. Maybe you're not using the exact same curriculum, but maybe you see how you really can make homeschooling work for you, for your schedule, your kids, your limits. If you are looking for a great kindergarten program, I highly recommend this one. If you have other kids you are homeschooling though, just consider your limits and make sure that you are not stretching yourself too thin by trying to do too many things at once. Combine what you can, if that is an option for you, combining, and working with your kids together. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes this year in our homeschool. I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your questions, any and everything. So leave those for me in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you want to hang out with us this year and kind of see how this all goes. I love sharing updates with you guys on my channel, along with curriculum reviews, homeschooling tips, and more. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.